promises are made.
Okay, so welcome to part 5. Today we have stripped the oil filter housing. There's quite a lot of sludge on the back of there, but it's done its job. Again, you can't beat this old engineering. The internal core, the top cover, the internal housing. We've drained the oil out. It looks pretty good, to be fair. We're just going to give this one, that's the starter motor clamp, we're going to give that a clean on the inside and give it a coat of paint due to the corrosion coming back through. The fan assembly we're going to strip down hopefully today. We have polished the oil feed. Well, no, I think this is the return from the filter housing. So that's been polished. The downpipe flange for the exhaust, it's I mean, whoever done this soldering or brazing, should we say, I wouldn't give up the day job, but it is what it is. We've got the studs homed in, polished and cleaned. We're going to give these a lick of paint. As you can see, we've got some Loctite grade blue for the thread lock. So we're just leaving that at the minute to set and cure. The nuts have also been polished, which are here, because we would like to keep as much original stuff on this, or as much original items on it, should we say, as possible. On this side then, we've made so we've got the original gasket on here, but we've used a bit of plastic to stop any flow or fluids going into the drain, because next is what we're going to do is we're going to put this stuff in. It's not really good. I'm not giving away brands, but the brand we're using is Wins. It's a cooling system flush. We've got a lot of rust and corrosion in here from, you know, like a lot of people do, they like to put fresh water in it. So we're going to fill the system up with 2 of these, hence why we've blanked this off with a temporary plastic gasket. Fill the system up, top it up with water, and then leave it as long as possible. We're going through these inlets here. We've got one this end and one that end. So I'm going to fill this up, pour it in, top it up with some water. So the lids are off. Let's pour it in. Not too sure what to expect from this product. I did try to buy more of it, but I only had 2 on the shelf. Let's go on this side. So that's 2 of them in there. Now I'll get the hose and we'll top it up with some water and we'll see how we go. So there's the first one getting topped up. I'm purposely missing it because I've got no gasket on the rocker. I don't want it filling up the head or the valve train cover area too much. This is taking a lot of time, but we have only got a gentle flow, so it's probably to be expected. Better to be safe than sorry. You can see the flow rate we've got there is tiny. We have primarily give this a flush, so inserted the hose into this void here, tried to flush it. Any guesses on how much? Here we go. This system may take. Nice bit of air coming out there by the sounds of it. Here she comes, coming to the top. See air out of that one. Let's go to this one. Oh, and it has filled up the pair of them. Brilliant. That is brilliant, 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 brilliant. So they are both level, as you can see there. That means the water is getting around between the two heads. So that's absolutely music to my ears to see that. Hopefully the level holds, because that's another good sign. We've got no leaks coming out from our temporary gasket. That's good. Perfect. Well, let's see. We'll leave that in there for as long as possible. So, I don't know, maybe the next week we'll leave that in there soaking. I would ideally like to put another mix in there, but I'll have to order some more. I'll screw this back in now into its thread. Push that out. It's lucky it's a hot day because all the excess water will evaporate. And the next part, I'm going to start taking this front cowling off somehow. Probably be the main bumper first. Worried about this. That's going to be a bugger to pull back in, but hey ho. But yeah, watch this space. So we're attempting to take. Place that there. So we're attempting to take the radiator off today. Moving on from the last segment, we've got to undo the front bumper. Now these are like, focus, there we go. These are seriously corroded. God knows how long they've been on there for. But we have this. Now this is Milwaukee's 2000 Newton meter impact with a friction ring on it. Don't they have just cracked on that side. I'm just going to show you now the power of this. So and as you can see, if you are dealing with items that are 8 years old, highly recommend buying one of these, because that has just chewed that up like butter. We're running a 18 volt battery on it. It's still not on its highest torque setting, which is 2000 newton meters. I think we're running about 9, and yeah, it just rips them off like butter. Unbelievable Milwaukee, absolutely unbelievable. If it wasn't for that gun, stuff like this would be struggling. And yeah, absolutely brilliant bit of kit. The extension sets, she's very warm. It's just cracked them off. But the extension sets we're using, which was a trial, they're called extension bars. It's made by CRV, comes in a 3-part set. Again, cheap, but cheap is cost effective by the seams of it, because they are doing an excellent job. So I'm going to continue taking these off, de-rig this, and hopefully try and drop the bumper and go from there. So we have removed the cowling, which is in a dismal state, but it's removed. This is one of the braces that the cowling connects to. So that sits other way around. No, it goes upside, this is upside down, but it sits on this brace here. So that's been removed. The way we've done this was a 10mm drill bit, and then, as you can probably tell from these, we've drilled out the tops of the screw heads to get it free. I've just got to grind these ones down, so there's a nut there, there's another nut down here. We've got to grind them away. That'll release this one. Then take this nut off there, take this stay off. Do the same on the other side. Loosen these mount bolts off, and then we have got to disconnect the front bumper, which is going to be a bloody hard task, and considering it's connected to there to keep the dolly in place, or whatever you would like to term that as. So yeah, at the meantime, we have used a lovely bit of nature. So these are now being sprayed with a matte or semi-gloss clear coat lacquer, so that will not corrode again. That pipe there is the oil feed to the vacuum pump, which goes from here down to there. So that'll be ready to be placed back on hopefully by the end of play today. The water is still holding in the block and in the head with the additives that we put in there, so hopefully that's working some magic, and then we can get all that retrofitted back onto it. That's the front assembly, so we'll get the radiator sent off, checked. Heritage-Hangar, which is a company that sponsors us, are going to scan these and remake them, because this one's broken and there's a hairline crack in there. So we're going to get a new one of these made, period correct of course, and the same for the other side. So this will probably be our master template, because I think we can spin these around, so they're interchangeable, they can face either way. So I'll show you that bit. Well, we've definitely got some strain on there now. Wonder how long. Wonder how long this is. Since this has been off. Let's just move that. Can I damage that? I think she's free. She is free. Look at that. Hey! It's sitting perfect. We could actually line it back up and put it back on, but we are now one step closer to getting the radiator off and clean this up. We've got a company coming out very shortly. Look them up. Brand new company, it's called MSR. They can do on-site rust removal and surface removals, but yeah, we are definitely cooking with gas now, and the radiator can start getting, and the mounts, should I say, can start to be unbolted. And while I'm waiting for an extra pair of hands to come and give us a hand, because we are volunteers, or a lot of the people that work with us are volunteers. I can't lift this on my own. As you can see, the crack now has become more evident, and you can tell by the bow. So that side, you can see it's bowed, this side is in line. But while we're waiting for this so we can remove it, we're going to crack on with the oil filter housing. This it's come out absolutely gorgeous, that has. This is one of the oil feeds or returns to the oil housing. We've literally just polished it and lacquered it, and it looks like it's been sprayed. It's absolutely outstanding work. Same as we've done. We've now polished this. I believe this is a vacuum line, or it's either a return flow to sump down there, or it's an oil drain from the vacuum pump, because like I said before, there's a massive void in here. It sucks crankcase pressure or vacuum out, pumps it, comes out of here to a vacuum tank. So actually, sorry, to draw it in, because the rotation's facing that way, so that means it goes towards the cylinder block, so it spins that way, which means it's drawing vacuum from this end and pumping it back into the engine or into the crank housing. But we're not too sure. I mean, maybe you guys know more about this than I do, but yeah, it's either a pressurised back, because if it spins that way, this could be a pressured line going into the sump to build oil pressure up, and then it sucks from this way to draw a vacuum. So I'm not too sure. But again, this has been polished, and we've lacquered it with a clear coat non-gloss lacquer. It has got some pit in it, but it's a 90-year-old vehicle. We want to keep its character. We want to keep as many parts on it as original. If it's serviceable and it can work, we'll leave it. Someone's done a bit of brazing there for repair, which again, I'm not going to hide it. It's part of its story. It's a scar. It's part of its war wounds. It adds character to it. If you got rid of everything and made it look like it's come off a factory forecourt, it's not that same vehicle anymore. So as much of its original character and battle scars we can leave with it, we most certainly will. But yeah, I'm absolutely ecstatic that we've got a bumper off, and our little Thornycroft is starting to, or our Amazon, starting to take shape. We've pulled that in, as you can see up there, braced onto that bracket, and then we've run that into the cab onto here. So we are very close to getting the front assembly completed. So from the radiator back to the bulkhead, we're going to get all this cleaned, treated, restored. Then from once this area is done, we'll jack it up, we'll take the axle off, we'll roll it out, we'll restore the axle, put it back on, and then we're going to move back until we get to this beast. Any electricians that are happy to come and work on this and help rewire it all, we'd really appreciate it. It's not, I believe it's a DC setup, but it literally, I mean, all the motors and the controls are 3-wire circuits, so it's nothing, you know, it's not going to be anything that's too challenging. We need to send these off to get refurbished, and these, the control points, but they all work as well. So as you probably were aware earlier on in the video, we removed the bumper. That is now removed. I've got clear access. We have removed the mounting bolts to the radiator bracket. These are now loose, and I'm just currently awaiting a colleague to come and give me a hand so we can lift the radiator out of position, ready for its disassembly, and to start inspecting it and restoring it and putting it back together. Once this is removed, we will also be packing the front of the engine block, jacking this up, taking these 2 bolts out because the rubbers are perished, which you might be able to see. So we're going to pack that up, take them bolts out, clean from here, from this segment forwards, same on the other side, prep this, de-rust it. If we've got any patch repairs, we will, and then we can paint it, put the front assembly back on, and then start working our way back. The chassis on this is going to be going RF blue grey, because we have found traces of it, and it's you know, it's its original colour, so it will be going back to its original colour. So the chassis will all be blue grey. The running gear, we're going to leave this blue grey. Probably do the gearbox blue grey, but then the prop shafts, etc., will be going black, or semi-gloss black. So, and the same as the rear axles, we'll paint all them black, but the rest of it, the chassis, everything will be going blue grey, back to its original colour. We have just given these a quick brief coating of semi-gloss black paint. The brush marks, I don't know, I think we might have to either upgrade the brush or get some rattle cans ordered in the same colour for the same batch. This is the water This is the inlet elbow that's situated up under there. So obviously the water goes from the bottom through the pump that sits on the front, goes up along here, gets pumped in a tube that goes down here into there, up into the block, and then comes back out along the top and up into the top of the header tank. But yeah, we are making progress. Okay, so while we're waiting for some hands to help lift off the radiator, this is the cover for the oil filter. Again, brilliant British engineering at its best. If you're wondering how we get our stuff clean without using sandblasting, which is just as good an effective method, it is the trustworthy bench mounted grinder with water wheel attachment on the end. We've also roughed this up, so we cleaned all the debris off the inlet manifold there. It's not polished yet, but it's got the surface corrosion off, etc. And this will be polished. Just one thing to add, if you do have one of these and you are going to use one, just watch out for your fingers, because that was a slip. That was a slip and it went dump straight onto there. So that did hurt. But yeah, excellent stuff. We are quickly going to paint this now, get it prepped. Well, it is prepped, so to say. And we're going to paint it. It's a very cost effective, quick, just watch your hands. I don't wear gloves for a reason, because if it gets caught on there, it's pulling your hand in, and if it gets caught on there, it's pulling you in. You know, I don't mind losing a bit of skin rather than getting pulled into one of these and it wrapping around my arm or my hand, and you know, God knows what could happen. But yeah, that's it cleaned, and we'll show you that painted in a minute, and hopefully the removal of the radiator set. So we have the radiator off. A bit of ingenious strapping and load bearing. We've got it off with a block and tackle, sorry. Even that's period correct. But yeah, so it's all off. We've just taken off this bracket from this side. It's cracked. We're going to get this re-welded. It's more cost effective than oh sorry, I just dropped my draft. It's more cost effective than remaking it. Starter handle for engagement has been degreased. We're going to clean at the front of that cross member. The two brackets holding the radiator on have been done and removed. We have started to briefly de-rust one. Sorry about this. Yeah, we've de-rusted one on the outsides. It's still a bit scabby, or very scabby on the inside, so these are going to get sent off for shot blasting. So we've got two of them to send away. Radiator itself is pretty healthy. Again, temporary gasket we've made. One at the bottom, and the core is absolutely hunky-dory, so we've got no leaks on the core. The only two places it was leaking from is the gasket itself. The bottom one down below where that drip is, if you can see it, that is where the gasket's blown, obviously from old age, a bit like myself. If you can see that moving, the water drain works perfectly. And the other brilliant thing I love about all this old kit is it's all made of brass, so the core segment bolts together and it bolts again on the top, so you can remove the header, the base and the sides, and you're left with a core, so there's no leaks. The only place it's going to leak is through the top and through the bottom, unlike today's modern equivalent of plastic crap. So we're going to try and get this stripped a bit further on, and then remake I don't know what I'd class that as, but it's a bracket basically to hold the main cowling, nose cowling in place. This one needs to be remade. That's the original we're going to use as a pattern, and this one we're going to, we'll grind this away and manufacture a new one. If I can keep that one on there, we'll leave it. Because it's period correct, it's original. If I can save it, if not, we'll make a new one, and we'll make two new ones. The retaining ring around here, as you can see, is rusted to fuck. Sorry for swearing, but it is. So we're going to have to make a new one of them. It should look like the one that's underneath, if you can see it, which is a very good copy to use as a bit of a blueprint for the gauge. But that is what we are. Not too sure if you can see it. It's going to focus. No, you're not going to focus. Okay, but yeah, there's a retainer there. The bolts go through that, and that pulls it down evenly to give you a lovely flush seal. But it's starting to look bare on the front, but it looks bare on the front in a good sense. not a bad one. We've got some more tools that have arrived today that we're going to use throughout the following days, and I'll give you an update on them and a little bit of a review and what we think of them. But yeah, all in all, it's the first time it's probably slung a load in 80 odd years, maybe more. Yeah, it's good progress so far. So the radiator has been dropped, the side supports have been removed. We're probably going to weld the one that's cracked. It's gone all the way through. All the mounts have been removed. So that is now done. Tomorrow we'll be splitting the header tank from the main core and the base from the core as well. It's got a dent in there as well, which we're going to try and get out. You can see there. Oh bloody hell! Yeah, it's pushed that in quite bad. No wonder there's a leak. So we'll bang that out with a hammer. Should be okay. Fingers crossed. Brackets are done, they're removed. The main brackets. We had to grind these off, and I'd like to say a big shout out again to Milwaukee, because the new 4.5 inch to 5 inch grinder set with 5.5 amp hour batteries. It's one key as well, so we can track it if it gets stolen, which fingers crossed it won't do. But again, Milwaukee, we are really impressed with your tools. They are absolutely outstanding. It's also got the quick release upgrade on it, so you flick this up like so, and then you just twist it off. Absolutely brilliant invention. And this is the 4.5 inch cover, and then there's a 5 inch cover on that as well. So we'll use that to grind the bolts off and the nuts, or the bolt heads. Some of them are the nuts, but bolt heads, as you can see there's a little bit going on, but we'll clean that up. But yeah, all in all, really proactive few hours today. Not much more before the front end starts going back together. We've got a recce trip where we're going out to Malta next week, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so we've split the two parts of the radiator, top and bottom. This is the top. I'll try and get out of the sun, but she's heavily corroded. Luckily it's made out of solid brass and copper. There's some indicators here. So again, we'll probably polish the undersides of these plates, just for a bit of bling, really. The bottom's not too bad. Top of the header. Obviously the base plate for the bottom of the rad, it's got a nasty dent there, which we're going to pop and bang out. The rubber has completely perished, it's turned to goo. But yeah, we're going to give this all a jet wash out today. We're not sponsored by Milwaukee, but by all means, Milwaukee, if you would like to sponsor us, we'd love it. Socket set's absolutely incredible. Disc cutter. We've just got this lifesaver today arrived, which is the new 3/8 compact electric ratchet, cordless ratchet. It's absolutely brilliant. The socket set's absolutely brilliant. The thing we love about Milwaukee is their sockets are designed so if you can't get a ratchet on there, one, these are anti-rolling sockets, so if you put them down they don't roll away. But the other key thing is these square heads on all of them are designed so you can put an adjustable spanner or just a normal spanner on the top of that socket to get a bite if you're in a limited access area, which I think is absolutely incredible and an amazing idea. We've also just taken delivery of one of their little £13 hammers. I think it's 13 or £3 hammer. Again, useful bit of kit. And this I called the setup. I bought extra batteries, etc. So we're not constantly in and out of changing them. So radiator is dismantled. That will be going off to get bead blasted once we've done the repairs to the base plate. I'm going to jet wash it all down. I'll probably get it bead blasted, then we'll mask off around the core itself, paint the centre core black, and then the brass plates top and bottom will get polished, just so it looks pretty. The header tank's obviously made of brass as well, and so is the base plate. I'm in two minds whether we leave them in brass or we'll paint them black, top and bottoms, just leave them top plates and bottom plates brass. I know it's not period correct, well it is period correct, that's the material it's made out of, but it wouldn't have been sprayed them colours or painted them colours on the day or in its surface life. But again, this is all under the bonnet, so you're not going to see a lot of it. So the idea is we would like to keep the brass, you know, on show. One being as well, it shows the engineering that Britain was so capable of, and the qualities of materials that we used to use, in the sense that, you know, we've done things back in the 30s and the 1900s to last. I mean, there's machinery still working to this current day, manufacturing goods out in India and places like Pakistan. You know, you're talking like hammer presses and stuff, you know, they're like, you know, the 1800s, 1900s, and they're still in use today. So it's just nice to leave some of the workmanship and craftsmanship on display for the younger generation, so they know, you know, what the true meaning and word of engineering is and quality of engineering is. And again, hopefully, if any new manufacturers look at our stuff and our content, maybe they'll start realising and start utilising old methods of engineering into new products. So, you know, it's not a 5-year consumable item that we chuck away, and people like ourselves and yourselves, the public, you know, can fix and repair and fix a crack, and you've got something you can work with other than plastic. So yeah, quite productive. So now we've done that, we're going to get jet washed, and then I'll be doing the next part will be the manufacture or fabrication, should we say, of the new exhaust system. So all our parts have arrived. We've got to wash this down again because we soaked it in some soap because it's getting covered in dust and the soap's dried on it, unfortunately, left little white dots everywhere. So we're going to give her a mop down, and then we will be making the downpipe from here down with a 90. It goes straight underneath in line with the gearbox, and it drops down between the two rear axles. That is what I'll be doing later today.
This is how legends are made.